Right, so we've got the temporaries in now. We've got the board's going to be changed because obviously it's a four-way, three-phase board. So we've got a lot of supplies to go in. We've got a lot of cookers to go in, fridges, Merry Chef, stuff like that to go in. We've got sockets in this room to do. We've got emergency lighting in here. We've got emergency lighting in the main shop to do. We've got sockets to do on the walls. Then we've got an island thing going in. So we've got to get a conduit across the floor. But the builder's going to come in and dig out a channel across the floor for us to put that in. So that's all going to come from here. We've got some SWAs to go out for some AC supplies when the AC company get here, but we're waiting to see where they're mounting their units before we start running the cables. We've got some CCTV to do, we've got some data to do, and I think there is some data to run for their ordering for as they sell food and that. Yeah, we've been here for a few days now. Haven't done a lot of filming. We've got a lot of the conduit up on the ceiling. We've got a lot of the tray up on the ceiling. We've got all of the fire alarms in a few days' time. Yesterday we got all the conduit over that side of the room done. We've also started just up here. We've got a 4-inch cable tray going up, which is going to suspend above the we've got a counter going either side of this beam here that you can just see. So we've got a counter going either side of that beam there, and it's going to return back. So it's going to be almost like a square with an opening just over there behind that door. So we've got a cable tray going above, and the cable tray's in almost like a square. And there's going to be pendants hanging above the counter on 2 sides, and then there's going to be, I think, about 5 down lights, pendant lights, or task lights, angled lights, hanging off the tray as well. So once the designers have a clearer idea what they're doing, we can start getting the lights up. Just above you and behind you is a cable tray. The light switch is over there at the minute, so we're going to pull that over here. So we're going to use a skeleton box, that's a skeleton box. So what we're going to do is we can mount that. There's a standard conduit box. So that just sits over there like that. And that allows you to draw cables through, and the slots around the outside. You can fix one to the other ones, which helps with earth continuity. So yeah, we've got those going on today. And also, right, so as you've seen, just drilled all the 12mm holes in the ceiling. Did that on time, that's a horrible dusty job. I still see me, I'm covered in dust. So these are the anchors. They're a 10mm anchor, so we drilled a 12mm hole. And what they do, these, you drive up into the hole in the ceiling, and then what you do, there's a bit inside that you hammer that up, and then that pushes. It's like a little projectile thing there that pushes out and then displays these 4 bits of steel into the ceiling, spreads out, and then you put your threaded stud into there, and then you bolt it up to the ceiling. So that's pulling down as well, and then we'll have a length of stud like we've got everywhere else into the ceiling, and then we'll hang our unistrut off of that, and then put our tray on top of that, and then we can we've got to get a conduit out to it, and then what we're going to do is we're going to fix our lights to the underside of that. So we've obviously got the pendant still and the task lighting. So yeah, so I'll get these put in, I'll put another time lapse up, and then we'll go from there. so that's that completed. We've now got all the anchors in the ceiling. We are suffering now because we have now run out of 10mm stud. We've got the wholesale that was coming here first thing this morning, and it is now, where are we? It is now 10 to 11, so they were coming here first thing this morning, so that was 7:30 to drop some stuff off. We're now coming out of London and they're not going to be here for about another hour. So we've got to stop what we're doing here, and then we're going to drop off and start connecting some of these conduits up. Right, welcome back. The delivery has now arrived, so we're going to use this 10mm stud, bolt it into the ceiling, and what we're going to do, we're going to have a 10mm nut, so we're going to screw that on there, and all this is going to do, that's going to go on there like that. 10mm washer goes in, 10mm penny washer goes in, and then that's going to screw up into the anchor, and then we're going to screw that tight up into the ceiling. That's going to pull down the anchor like that, so it's going to give us a nice rigid stud to hang off of. So we've got 2 of those for each support. So I'll cut out the boring talking now. I'll put a time lapse on because there's quite a lot of them to put up. So. So with the unistrut up, we're going to level it off, and then I'm going to cut the cable tray into a 90-degree bend up there, and then bring it along this way. Then it's going to 90-degree bend along here, and then it's going to return into this wall. So over where we are here now, so off the, I think it's the edge of this pier, as you're looking at the right-hand side of the pier, the countertop's going to come to about here. So the light's going to be central to this. So this is where our cable tray is going to be. So we have a couple of pendants here. Then there's going to be a series of task lighting spread around off that tray. So that's what we're going to do. So stick with us and I'll keep you up to date. Right, so if you follow me, you can probably just see up here the green line, which what we're going to do is we're going to put that in. So that's going to be where the bottom of our unistrut is. So we've got this 41mm unistrut cut down, it's all deburred. And we're going to hang that up on the ceiling like that. So the U piece is up like that. So the 2 bolts are going to pass through here and here. Nut and washer in here. We've got a nut and washer underneath to stop it all moving, and then our cable tray is going to bolt on top. So what we've got, the laser I've done to line up with this bottom bit. So I'll get all that in now and I'll bring you back. fix all the trays up for the lighting where it's going to go. Tomorrow we've got a break into the 25mm conduit, so we've taken that down, cut the thread and put the tea in there, and move the tea down onto the tray, fix it to the tray, make sure it's got a good mechanical earth, and then we're going to run cables round. I think the architect's coming tomorrow, so we'll just confirm where these lights are going. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put drill a hole in the tray, bush, and a lock nut in there just for the time being, drag the cable through, and we can take it up. We've still got in here, we've still got all the CCTV to wire. I think there's 5 or 6 8-megapixel cameras that we're going to run back into the back office. We've also got emergency light over there to run on that doorway, which is just there. So we're going to have another emergency light over there. I've done the pipe work over the doorway today, the other emergency light to move the switch across as well. Use the skeleton box in there. There's a couple more lights to go up above your head because you're in the retail part now. Also tomorrow we've got to run the 25mm conduit in for, there's a big island going with a couple of circuits for a load of sockets and USB sockets to go into. We're going to put that in, put it all into where it's going, and then just leave it like on the surface. And then what's going to happen, the builders are going to come along on Saturday and then use a chaser machine or a disc cutter or anything, and then they're going to cut it in to where it's got to go. So that saves us doing that. And particularly I don't want to be going through the rebar in this concrete, so it's going to be rock hard. And that's it, so we've got a couple of emergency lights, wiring here, and then we've got next week we'll be doing trunking in there. We've got to run the SWAs because hopefully we'll get the supplies for the AC when they're here. I think they're starting Monday as well. So we've got the AC, CCTV, emergency lights to finish. We've got all the office, the back office and that to do. I think that's about it. So we're going to be here for about another week or so yet. And then obviously where the counter is, we're going to wire all the trunking, get all the isolators on the wall firstly, and then we're just going to leave the cables coming through here later, and then we're going to run them into position when the cabinetry comes in. And then just over here, on this far wall over here, all the way along there, is a huge bench seat going in. So that bench seat is going to have sockets located down below. So we've got the pipe work in with that, so that we're going to run that into we're going to run a 4mm circuit to that as well. So plenty of power there. And yeah, that's Thursday. Is it Thursday? Yes, it is Thursday. So come back, we'll see you tomorrow. Right, welcome back. Slightly later start this morning. Had to go to the garage because we had a flat tyre. We needed a new tyre, but the other 3 tyres were getting near the limit, so we've had those changed out as well. So we've got 4 new tyres, so that's a good start to the weekend. Right, today we're going to get back to earning some money. So we've got the island is going to go here, which has got a lot of sockets on it. And then we're going to bring that out and we're going to take it straight through the doorway up onto the wall, and we're going to put an angle box to start with, and then the builders are going to come tomorrow and cut the floor up and get the they're going to put the pipe into the floor, so we've got to get it in position ready for them to do their bit. So we're going to get that in today. We get a draw wire in there, so that's all well and good. And then we're going to start doing a bit of conduit onto the tray he put in yesterday for the retail part of the coffee shop. And then we might get in, if there's time, we're going to start cutting these 25mm conduits to break into the lighting system for the emergency lights. So we've got the conduit in. I've laid it loose on the screed because they're obviously going to dig all this up tomorrow. And then it sort of comes all the way back down here, through the doors, and we've fixed. Right, yeah, so as we come down, it's just laid loose on the screed, and then it comes into here. And obviously we've got it, I've put a screw in the wall. We're not, as we're not taking it up to the fuse box yet, because obviously the conduit is going to drop down by, probably about 35 to 40 mil into the concrete. So when we come back on Monday, that'll be lower. So then we can finish the bit of conduit off going towards the trunking. Right, that's me done for another week. We've got the 25mm conduit in today, so that's already just having a quick tidy up. We've put everything out of the way. I've just got to put the conduit bender away, put the steps back on the van. So we've kept this area pretty clear for the builders tomorrow. Next week I'll be conduiting in some emergency lights, some lights in the retail bit just here. We'll be wiring through the conduits hopefully. If we've got people away, we've got the AC guys are coming in, so we've got those suppliers to run in, and if we've got to run any containment, we have to see, because I don't know where on those outside walls the AC's going. We've got 3-inch trunking to go around in the office, got emergency lights to wire in the office, we've got new lighting to wire in the office. We've got all the conduit done, the alternate switch wiring to do, CCTV to wire, we've got the data for the POS system to wire. I also have to think about getting some cabling out, because I'm not sure whether where the phone lines and everything coming, so I have to have a look at that next week, so we can then get that in as provision ready for when I think it's British Telecom or Openreach or somebody comes in, so they obviously have internet in here. And also we have to think about wiring for a Wi-Fi booster as well somewhere in here. So that's just quite a lot to do for next week, and we'll obviously be going into the week after. Also next week we'll be visiting the swimming pool job. We'll be visiting a kitchen job that we've got to finish now. They've got some the rest of the kitchen in. We will also be going back to a flat that we started God knows how long ago. Yeah, so there's plenty of content coming up. It's all quite varied because I like to keep it varied. Please like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you all again next week.
Now turn up.